Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Comics, etc. Well, you guys know the drill by this point. Today we're going to be covering a lot of newer stuff, I have to say. Newish. Later.
We always cover
You
new
do
stuff.
the talking.
No, but you're not incorrect. We do cover a lot of brand new series, not just the newest incarnations of stuff. And yeah, you're right.
There's nothing
this
to say.
week is hard for words. Ooh, I've got it. When words fail us, it was just explosions. So you just edit in some text bubbles. We got new comics. New. We got stuff from Image.
There's paper.
Paper. Witches.
Yeah. Alright, well, without further ado, let's get to it!
Hey, howdy, hey, fanbots. Glad you joined us for another episode. To start things off, I'm going to cover a series from Image. I'm actually going to cover two series from Image. But the first one I'm going to cover from Image is Copperhead. Now, when the first issue came out, I was actually really excited for it. I had seen it described as sort of like a Firefly-esque, so it was a space western with an emphasis on the western instead of the emphasis on the sci-fi, which is what you normally see. And I thought that sounded like a really cool concept, and I read issue 1, and I thought issue 1 was fantastic, so I was really excited to pick up issue 2. So the protagonist is the new sheriff of this kind of like backwater town where she's traveled to try to give her son and herself a new chance of life. They don't tell you what exactly's happened, but kind of like with Firefly, we're told about a war that had happened previously, and then we see how the characters are dealing with it in the present. Same here. The sheriff and her son have been through some stuff in the war, and they're moving to this new town to get a new start. But she's met with some sort of resistance. Her partner, Boo, has been wanting to be the sheriff for a long time, but he feels like his race is discriminated against by people in the town. So there's a natural friction, antagonism towards each other. In the actual issue, they're dealing with some murders of some local townfolk who had gotten into a fight in the previous issue. And we're also seeing the sheriff's son and another small child who he became friends with dealing with these arties, what they call them, artificial humans. And one of them saves them out in the wild. So one of the things I actually want to touch on real quick, I thought the artificial human bit was really cool because everyone's a little uneasy around them. And they look like humans, but they're like blue or purple skin, kind of, and everyone doesn't seem to trust them. And I really like that they have, the sheriff, as kind as she is, as nice as she is, she's trying to fit in, trying to make a new life, she still has that sort of racism against those artificial humans. And I like characters who aren't just, oh, I love everyone and I want everyone to get along. Like, you can tell she's uneasy around them because they were specifically developed for the war. And I really want to see, what her history is with them. I just think, it was a fantastic second issue. I thought the first issue was great. I think the concept, all of the writing, the art so far, everything's been fantastic. I really couldn't recommend the series higher. Originally I was going to give it a 9 out of 10, but after talking it up to myself, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because really so far it's been great and there's nothing that I want more from the series. I think everything that we've been getting so far, all the characterization, all the plot points, are paced exactly as they should be, and are just as interesting as I hope they'd be. So, 10 out of 10, check it out.
For my first review, I'm going to be doing something that was introduced to me this week, and I am absolutely in love with witches. This is an Image series, first issue. Oh, it was all good. The art, spectacular. Story, amazing. Characters, really good. And the premise is awesome. I would tell you kind of what happens in it, but that would be doing you a grave injustice. There's enough mystery in it that it's going to keep you intrigued, and the writing's good enough that you're just like, oh, yes, good. It's a feel-good comic. If feeling good means being terrified, confused, and seeing a lot of blood and guts. So feel good. Pick up the first issue. If you really don't like it, don't read it. If you are a normal human, you're going to love it. So
the gauntlet has been thrown. Why not just reach into the camera and slap our audience with a white glove?
Hey, someone has to. I am both the nurturing and the strong hand. I'm going to give this one 10 out of 10. I really, really wish this series, I hope it's all as good as this first issue. Because if it is, I'm going to be in heaven.
The second series I'm going to review is a new series, so it's issue 1 of a series called Birthright. And I didn't know anything about it, whereas with Copperhead I was really excited, I had seen previews for it, I wanted to read it. Birthright I saw one image for once, and I was like, oh, another kid gets whisked away to a magical world and goes on an adventure with some creature's story. And I was surprised by how out of the box it was. I picked it up on a whim, and it actually ended up being one of my favorite titles to read this week. I wasn't expecting any of it. So, just to give like a brief review without too many spoilers, so the whole premise is that a kid goes off and goes on an adventure and then comes back home. So I was expecting the series to actually take place over the child's adventures, but we're immediately shown the before and then the aftermath. So he's come back, and we see how it's affected him, how it's going to affect his family's life, and it's not what you're expecting. You expect something like that for it to be, a happy homecoming, for the family to be grateful, to be pulled together, but this family's been broken apart by the loss of this kid, because again, just because he went off on this adventure doesn't mean time didn't go on for them. So they were without their son all this time, accusations were thrown around, the family basically broke apart, and so now they have to pick up from that, and the son isn't exactly what he seems either. Or, if you like the combination of magical elements in a modern day setting, I think you'll really, really enjoy this. I'm actually also going to give this one a 10 out of 10 because it really threw me for a loop and wasn't at all what I expected. And I really respect any comic book, especially nowadays, that's so not like anything else I've read currently. I mean, it did, in a sense, remind me of Joe the Barbarian, if you've read that, where a boy goes on an adventure and, there are repercussions in real life, but thematically they're different, and I think the message we're supposed to get from them both are different as well. And so again, I think this one stands on its own as a really unique new product. Definitely check it out. Birthright #1.
For my second comic today, I'm going to be doing the brand new Batgirl. Selfie! This is the first appearance of her new costume. They explain it in the comic. The art is awesome. The story, again, awesome. I've read really good stuff this week. This is going to get an 8 out of 10 for me, and I'll get to it. But let me talk about how much I love it first. The costume, awesome. The fighting in it is awesome. The characters, awesome. The story, awesome. Everything's awesome. I just love it. I can't find anything but one major flaw that I hate about it. And the flaw I don't hate. It's just so modern. Like, it has a whole bunch of references to modern day things, and sure, it's kind of where, society's going, but all these things are going to be very dated. Like, especially a lot of the styles and hairstyles, especially. They look really good nowadays, and I like them. It's just, I know that in 20 years, people are going to look back like, what the hell is going on with that hairdo? Like I said, 8 out of 10. Everything's great, except for the modernism. It could be toned down. However, it's not that bad. It's not one of those like, oh my god, it's so modern, I can't even read it! It's modern enough that if it can be irritating, but not majorly. Everything else wholly makes up for it. So, if you're picking up the series already, you already know. If you aren't picking up the series already, now would be a cool time to pick it up. You might be confused if you don't know what's going on by issue 35, because who would? But, yeah, it's a good issue. 8 out of 10.
Wow, what a great time we had.
It was riveting!
So many reviews we just gave you. We loved every moment of it.
But now we've come to the one that everyone watches.
Features in.
Alright. This issue...
First off, it's issue 23. It wasn't just an issue, it was issue 23. And they finally show us on the cover the giant Brainiac creature that is apparently responsible for all of the tomfoolery happening currently. Good on you, Brainiac creature. Out of everything that's happened in Future's End so far, that is my favorite thing. Not even the inclusion of Batman Beyond beats this fantastic new design. What I've noticed about the New 52 so far, the Future's End series, is that there's been a large trend towards crappy but cool 90s style.
Oh yeah.
Like, at the end of this issue, there's a reveal. And then the reveal has to do with the abduction of Batman and Joker in previous issues. And the reveal, I think, is really 90s-esque.
It was definitely like, wow, we've come back. It feels kind of dirty.
And then this new Brainiac is ridiculously large. It's like got these like wires going through all like it. But I think it's kind of cool. Like something like Brainiac should have a more menacing figure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's always like it looks just usually like some green dude.
Yeah.
With some purple.
It's Martian Manhunter, but with 3 eyes.
And he's usually monotone. I mean,
I am Brainiac.
I am Brainiac.
Taking over Metropolis.
I'm gonna take
You can't stop me.
Can't stop me, Superman. Beep boop beep.
Beep boop beep. That classic Brainiac line. That was probably the most exciting thing, was just more of the giant Brainiac in this issue. Otherwise, everything was a little lackluster. Like, they expect us to care about the fallout of Tim Drake lying about who he is. I don't give a shit. I don't even want you to edit that out. I don't give a shit. You leave that in there. That is how little shit I give.
Reading this, I just kind of started thinking about all the cliches that happen in comics and movies and books and just everything.
Human life.
Future's End seems like it's just hitting all those cliches and then like doubling back and hitting them maybe again, or trying to like reinforce it with yet another cliche. It's like, oh, this cliche. How could you do this to me? He was standing in the shadows the entire time.
Like a creeper! Tim Drake is just standing in the trees.
They do give him the creepiest expression. It was hilarious. This issue was drama. It was all drama. And like some of the drama really worked. Some of the drama was, well, with Tim Drake, it was really shady. Sorry. That panel is amazing.
It's true. I kind of feel like DC is keeping us in the dark.
But
Really, I think Cal's whole storyline should make like a tree.
we're getting nods of approval from the director. She's definitely... Everyone loves puns. This seems like a step back, just because you're right. It has been showing people everyone's going to Cadmus Island, or they're in space, or it feels like they don't matter.
The 3 categories.
Those are the 3 categories.
It's honest, yeah.
It is like Cadmus Island, or going to Cadmus Island, in space, or why are we talking about these people? And eventually, I'm pretty sure we'll have a point to talk about these people. But it feels like there's no point right now.
Yeah.
I don't really need all this backstory if it's going to be like them popping in at a moment when it's all like, oh, I'm here to save the day. Oh, sweet. You know, you could just give us that in one issue and then have them come back in like a later issue. You're like, oh, they're back.
I don't know, I just feel like 23 issues in, I expected pacing to be a little bit better. And especially after they had that burst forward a couple issues ago where we were like, yes, they're back on track. They're finally on track. They're on a track. Now it feels like they've lost sight of it again.
They're starting to go into the shoulder. They're just kind of drifting. It's just like, dude, the road's kind of turning a little bit. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you give it?
I am going to have to give this one a 6 out of 10. Because it was doing so well. This series was doing amazing. And then this issue happened. And I have an issue with this issue. So 6 out of 10.
I'm going to agree with you 100% because I still feel like there's exciting stuff to come. I'm still hopeful, but...
Yeah. But this is just a disappointment issue.
Yeah.
But, to be fair, that's what this series is. It's a bunch of really cool issues, and then a bunch of disappointment issues, and then really cool stuff. It's no good. Well... That's a wrap on another episode, I believe.
Yeah, we hope that you enjoyed our reviews. We hope they inspired you to try out some new series. And I really hope that it kind of showed you that even if there's something you haven't... Because I know a lot of the series we covered today maybe didn't get a lot of coverage. Like, you might not have heard of them if not for the show or if not for, like, you know, happening across a... what are those called? Solicit? You know, we hope we encourage you to kind of just pick stuff up. You know, if you see it on the shelf... and you've never seen anything like it before, or, you know, even catches your interest for a moment, just pick it up, give it a read, and if you do, let us know which ones you did, because maybe we missed it, you know, we're not perfect. We don't grab everything. So if you've seen something and we've never mentioned it before, either through our tweet views or through the actual show, shoot us a line. Let us know you saw it. You think we might like it, and go from there.
All right. Well, as always, remember who you are, what you are,
Don't go causing any trouble out there in that crazy world.
and always judge a book by its cover. All right. For my first comic today, I am going to be reviewing Edge of Spider-Verse issue 4. I walked with a spider. This series, I'm actually really sad it's not going to be an ongoing. Now the world knows that
Honestly.
I hate blue people.
Mr. Hueth is a racist.
I stand by that. Like, Avatar, yeah, we should have been drilling. Drill, baby, drill. Unobtainium, more like all-amintanium.
Can't stop me from tanium.
Give me you two. Give me 'em.
Sounds like a breakfast cereal.